Hi friends, welcome back to another Tesla stock weekly analysis. So before I go on to the charts, I just want to tell you something you have probably heard for the first time. Why I think Tesla sales will be awesome during this whole COVID thing. We all know that Tesla only does online sales. Which auto company does that? Nobody! Do you go to your Toyota.com or go to Audi.com to buy a car? No! You usually go to a dealer. So with this whole COVID situation thing happening, you can very well guess who is going to get the sales. So let's go on to the charts and after that the relevant news. This is Tesla stock chart, the daily chart which I've been drawing for months and months and will be coming up almost to a year. So what's happening on Tesla this coming week where I foresee the stock will go? Okay, this week on Wednesday after the market close, there will be earnings. Means Tesla will report earnings and probably something may happen. So before I go on to my analysis on where I think the stock will go up or go down, I just want to point you to this new support line which I can see. I'm just going to draw this line across. I perhaps change the color to black so it's easier to see. And okay, so I'm just going to draw this line here. So I call this the mini support line. So how do we get mini support lines? It's like when there's always a gap. Do you see when there's a gap up? You notice these support lines hold really strongly. And it also goes back to over here where there was a gap up and it forms a new support line. So every gapping causes some kind of support line. So for now, we've seen a new support line. And this support line is about $680. So this means, what does the support line means is that when a stock kind of like hit near the support line, what happens is the stock will bounce away. This is a good sign. This means the stock has kind of found its floor. So this is the baseline, about $680. The next thing I want to point you guys at, I need you all to actually Google this. I see a pattern here. This pattern forming here is called a bullish pennant. So if you are going to, you just go Google and search this keyword over here, bullish pennant, and you click on images. This is what you come out with. Okay, so basically the explanation is this. There's a big gapping up and the stock kind of squeezes in before a breakout. Because why? Because the buyers and sellers of the stock cannot kind of agree on where the stock price is, and slowly the price move into a place where it cannot bury anymore, it won't burst. So let's go back to Tesla and look at the history of price squeezing in. So let's go all the way back during the days where I made a lot of money. Do you remember this big squeeze over here? This was like last year in May, area where the stock price kept coming down. You notice the stock was squeezing in. This chart over here, I drew this like, I can't believe it's been like almost a year. Last year, May, I drew this. And I was telling the whole world that, this is the wedge pattern. And that's how I actually predicted the stock price would jump, because the stock price was just squeezing in. And finally, the confirmation of the burst out and boom, the stock went. So this is one example of squeezing in. Let's move forward nearer to the future, where after a gapping, see there was a gap in January, and the stock price kind of like squeezed in, and after that it spiked upwards. Okay, so this is example of price squeezing in and shooting up. We have another example here where there is going to be price squeeze. So I'm just going to change the color a little bit. I'll change to red so it's easier to see. I put thicker lines. So now you can see there is a squeeze over here. So you actually see a movement of the stock shooting up over here. Over here is shooting up, and there's a squeeze. So I foresee with like a high probability where the stock will kind of find its way, and its earnings, it will fly upwards. So this is kind of what I predict is going to happen. Of course, with stock price movement, prediction is always not a guaranteed thing. There's always a chance that it will go down. But in my opinion, I think that the stock is going to fly up, and the floor of the stock is around $680. I actually told you in previous week's video and last week's video, I added stock at about $704, where I saw a big gap up and I actually added stock over here. I do not want to bet against the market. I do not want to bet against trend. Another reason why I think the stock is going to gap up is because actually the whole market knows that everybody is suffering from this stupid COVID, and most of the markets have kind of forgiven companies in Q1. So most companies has already been forgiven on whatever they're going to report at. So you have to take that aside. Q1 reporting, the numbers aren't really that important. That's why I have a stronger bias with the stock price moving upwards after earnings. I hope I've given you clarity. Also, I appreciate the thumbs up. It helps a lot out in the channel. Okay, so in 2 days, I'll release a video. Do let me know which one you are more interested in. My analysis of Illumina stock, which is one of my stocks in my portfolio, or me showing you my portfolio and going in depth on how I managed to earn so much money despite the market plunging. Okay, it depends on the level of interest, and I'll decide which video I'll do first. Let me know in the comments below. So let's go to the news. Tesla welcomes Hiromichi Mizuno as the new independent director to its Tesla's board. This guy is the real deal. He ran the biggest pension fund in the world, a $1.5 trillion fund in assets under management. From where I see his biggest value to Tesla is his network. From the United Nations to the many companies that he sits on the board, he will be advising a lot on international policy. You see, Tesla's long-term goal is to massively scale battery production. Battery production starts from mining. So with mining, there's a lot of politics involved, and Tesla will be dealing with governments all over the world. So Hiromichi's input will be a great help to Teslas in this aspect. Also, full self-driving's biggest obstacle is regulatory approval. So adding Hiromichi to the board is a brilliant move. So good luck, Tesla short sellers. Elon appeared on a 1-hour interview with Hack Club. Elon is a hero and so inspiring to so many people, especially the millennials and really young people. So this is one of the best interviews I've seen of Elon Musk. They were asking brilliant questions, hard questions, and really relevant questions. He appears for about an hour. So I highly recommend you to watch it. I'll put the video up here and the link below. So you see, how do you understand a person better? It is not my first time saying this. So I do it by watching hours and hours of interview, and you kind of get a very good sense of that person. And I use this method to look into companies I want to invest in. And the most important person in the company is the CEO. So I did the same thing for the company Square, which I watched Jack Dorsey, and also the company Illumina, which these 3 companies make up the main bulk of my portfolio. This week I got 2 videos to introduce to you, and this is the second video. It's kind of like, if you want to nerd out, you can watch it. So Andrew, he is the head of Tesla's AI. He did a presentation to recruit people who he wants to work with. So if you want the short version of Tesla's autopilot explanation, I actually did a video on that like last week. So I'll link it up here and down below. So something I picked up during this interview and this presentation by Andrew, he was showing that Tesla saves thousands of lives every day with Tesla's autopilot. So Tesla's contribution to the world is on a level most companies won't even come close. So okay, maybe another company which I own, which is Illumina, in the future may come close to Tesla's contribution, but that's a story for another time. So the final piece of news. Tesla will open its factory on 4th of May, of course with new safety measures. They will reopen like how Tesla China reopened. So slowly, cautiously, and probably with the same protocol as Tesla China, from work distances to cleaning. Concluding this video, the biggest question most investors have in their mind is what's the price movement after earnings. I think, as I explained in the charts, it's going to go up. Again, it's just a guess. We also get spikes downwards with good earnings. But I think the markets have forgiven most companies for Q1. So bad earnings is not really relevant now in this current situation. So this week, I'm really happy with the news coming out from Tesla with the addition of Hiromichi, restarting production of cars, and of course the spectacular interview with Elon Musk. Again, I appreciate all those that help me do the thumbs up. Your actions really contribute too much to this channel. And as always, invest safe.